Hello, and welcome to Stage Makeup by Kyla. Today on the show, Extreme Stout. How to make your face look wider than it naturally is, adding width to the face. So for research, find pictures of people that have complexion, maybe hair color, similar to yours, but with a either more square or more round or heavier face than yours. Could be celebrities, could be people you cut out of a magazine. Ideally, they have a similar skin tone to you, but if your skin tone is a mix in between a few different folks, that's fine. Maybe they have round cheeks, maybe they have square jaws. She's kind of square. So today we're gonna add width to the face. So have your research images. I do like primary images too. Try not to find images of people wearing makeup to make their faces look wider. Try to find images of people whose faces are actually similar to yours but wider. Have your research images and your schematic in front of you as you work to reference. Start with a clean face and clean hands. I just washed my hands. Get your hair out of your face. If you have small hairs close to your face, my hair looks crazy. Get your hair out of the way using hair clips or a headband. I just washed my face, and I'm gonna put a layer of toner to keep my pores closed, to keep this cream makeup from clogging my pores. For the base color, choose a color that is a little bit lighter than your natural skin tone, because things that are lighter tend to look bigger and wider. When we do extreme lean and contrast, you'll choose a color that's a little bit darker than your natural skin tone. You might have to mix a couple colors to create that, whether you've got the Ben Nye cream color kit or the Kryolan super color kit. I'm going to use the Kryolan today because that's what I have in front of me. And I think I'm going to mix these shades and these shades to come up with an overall warmer. Well, let's experiment. Let's try this one actually. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, just slightly darker. Great. So start with an even base all over your skin. This is going to give you something to blend into as you add highlight and shadow. I'm using a triangle sponge. You could also use a brush if you feel more proficient with a brush, but you want to be careful to eliminate streaks to get a smooth, even coat. You don't want to see any brush strokes. Put the base everywhere that you're going to put makeup, over your eyelids, onto your neck. For this makeup, I'll show you some techniques to make your neck look wider. Over your lips. Between stout and lean, I'll show you techniques to make your lips look wider or more narrow. Makeup is magic is the overall theme that I hope that you discover from this class, and I hope that you have fun. It's magic in that it can transform the face. All right, smooth, even coverage of base. Now for highlight and shadow. I'm going to start with highlight. I'm going to use the brush that I'm wiping onto the towel on the table in front of me first. The brush that came with the kit. It's a 1/2 inch wide brush. There's one that comes with the Kryolan kit or the Ben Nye kit. You could also use a 1/2 inch wide, inexpensive acrylic paintbrush. It has the same effect. And I'm going to start by placing in the highlight. So for this, I'm using the lightest color as the highlight. If you have the Ben Nye kit, there's a pot of cream color that says highlight. In order to make the forehead look overall wider, I'm going to put highlight on the side of the forehead and down. So right now, it's a harsh edge between where the highlight is and where the base color is. We're going to go back later and blend that edge, but you can leave it as a stripe for now. The next highlight position, when you scowl, you might notice there's an indentation here and here. That's where you're going to add the highlight, in like a triangle where the indentation is. It's going to add fullness to the whole forehead. The next highlight position is in the center of the eyelid, where the pupil is. Like where the pupil is when your eye is closed. So a circle in the center. This is going to help to make the eyes look sunken into the face. And then, in addition to widening the face, we're going to add weight to the face. One way to look like you've added, like there's weight added to the face, is by modeling this sagging underbrow skin. I've kind of already got it, but we're going to exaggerate it. So you're going to draw a half circle of highlight from the center of the eyebrow to the outside of the eyebrow, kind of like a football shape. From the center of the eyebrow, curving down to the outside. We'll go back and shape that with shadow. There's multiple ways to make your nose look wider. One way is to draw a line down the center and then widen that line with the highlight. So you've got a wide highlight and then put shadow on the sides. Another way is a similar technique to what we did on the forehead, where you're adding highlight on the side of the nose. That's what I'm doing. I told you about the first technique. This is the other technique. So paint highlight from the inside of the nose next to the tear duct down the side of the nose and blend it to the base where the nose connects to the face. This is going to make the sides of the nose, instead of look like they're receding, look like they're coming forward. Lighter colors look like they're coming forward, darker colors look like they're receding. That's the principle behind highlight and shadow. On the cheeks, we're going to add highlight in the hollows of the cheeks, under the cheekbones. You could press your face to feel where your cheekbones are after you've washed your hands. You could also press into the cheeks where this indentation is. Some people have it more pronounced than others, but you could feel where your cheekbone is, and the highlight is going to be under that. So from the hairline next to the ear and a diagonal line towards the mouth, and then widening that line, depending on how long your face is. Maybe it's like an inch wide, maybe 3/4 of an inch. And the same on the other side. A diagonal line underneath the cheekbone. I feel puffier already. What's next? The chin. If your chin is naturally pointy, you can make it look wider by drawing a wide oval. My chin's kind of pointy. So I'm going to draw an oval, simulating light hitting right here. Then the jaw. I'm going to go back, do shadow first, then highlight on the jaw. And the neck as well. So we're going to stop there. Oh, bags under the eyes. This is not necessarily adding width, but it's adding weight, and it will overall add to making the face look wider, bigger, heavier. It's modeling under eye bags. The way to do this is to take the highlight and draw a wide letter U from the tear duct under the eye to the outside edge of the eye. And then fill that in with highlight. We're adding the look of a bag under the eye. A wide circle under the eye. going to switch to a different brush, the same size, a 1/2 inch wide acrylic brush, to lay in the shadows. The first shadow position I'm going to put is around the eyeball. So in the crease of the eyelid, if you have a deep crease, or just imagining where the end of your eyeball is. Some people's eyes are naturally more sunken in than others. What we're doing here with makeup is making it look like your eyes are sunken in. To create the shape of this skin sagging under the brow, you're going to trace the outside edge where you put the highlight with the shadow, and then using the flat side of the brush, blend the shadow up towards the highlight. Think about the drawing of the sphere. Think about light hitting a sphere, and the lightest part is in the center, gradually fading to the darkest part. So when you first lay it in, it looks like a stripe. Here's a line, here's the highlight. This actually still looks kind of like a stripe. I'm gonna go back and add a bit more there so that it's a gradual fade from the shadow to the highlight. Same thing for the under eye bags. So start by tracing the outside edge. There it is as a stripe. Then using the flat side of the brush to blend the shadow towards the highlight. So what I've got still kind of looks like it's just a wider line. I'm going to go back to the brush that I used for the highlight to blend so that it's a smooth blend from the highlight onto the shadow. Look at the difference between that one and that one. And then the same on the other side. Adding a bit more shadow, blending the shadow up towards the highlight. Other shadow positions. To make your nose look shorter, you can essentially cut off the tip of your nose with shadow. So I'm going to draw a line straight across with shadow to shorten the nose. Then I'm going to blend that down to the base on the underside of the nose. I'm going to gently blend the edge so that it doesn't look like a harsh line. Looks like a shorter nose. I'm going to do a similar thing on the jaw. So my jaw is a little bit pointy. I'm going to draw a line from the outside of my jaw, gently curving up and then going back down. On the rest of the jaw, I'm going to model sagging jowls. So if accentuating the flesh that's hanging down here. So I'm going to trace the jaw from the ear, going up about the midpoint of the eye, and connecting with that line for the chin I just drew. Then I'm going to go ahead and blend that jawline. So I'm going to add more shadow with the wider brush and blend it down into the base. Look how wide my chin looks already. Other shadow positions. Looking at my schematic, it's time for the neck. So using the 1/2 inch brush on the side of the shadow, I'm going to press my chin back towards my shoulders, press my shoulders forward so that I can see where the wrinkles on my neck are. Some people have many pronounced ones, some people have a few, some people have none. If you have none, Don't sweat it. Don't try and do this. But if you can find some, draw them in. It's okay to laugh at this part too. It's really funny. And it's fun to make this face and look at yourself in the mirror. Sometimes it's a full line, sometimes it's a few half a lines. Mine's kind of a mix. Yeah, adding weight. Now I'm going to go back with highlight and add highlight on top of where those folds of skin are, using the flat side of the brush to make a wider line. I'm also going to add a little bit of highlight on top of the jaw to simulate light hitting that skin hanging down. All right, checking my notes. Highlight on temples, sure. Oh, I did. Highlight on temples and under cheekbones. Highlight to widen nose, highlight droopy eyes, highlight puffy under eye circles, shadow just under nose, tip of chin, eye creases, jowls. All right, time to blend. So I'm gonna blend with this wider brush. It's possible to blend with the 1/2" brush, but it'll take you longer. Be careful as you're blending, what you want to do is blur the outside edges so that it's a smooth transition between the base and the color, rather than a stripe. But you don't want to blend so far that you obliviate everything. You still want it to seem like the lightest part of the highlight is in the middle of where you place the highlight, blending to the edges where it meets the base. Blending takes a lot of practice. Be gentle with yourself if you're not extremely proficient at it at first. The only way that I am as fast and proficient at this is because I've practiced. I've been teaching makeup for 6 years and I've taught every semester, so 12. I've taught this class 12 times. It gets easier the more you practice. Does my face look puffier? Do you remember what my face looked like in the beginning? To me, it looks puffier. Wider. Yeah, definitely. Lips and rouge. Often, people with wide faces have thin lips. In the interest of making everything bigger and wider in this lesson, we're going to make the lips look bigger and wider. Then on extreme lean, we'll make the lips look thinner. So, to make your lips look wider than they actually are, what are we going to experiment with? Let's use the Krylon lip colors. So this came with the Krylon kit. If you have the Ben Nye kit, you have these colors. You can use those 2 pinks. If your lips are naturally brown, use brown. If your lips are a mix of pink and brown, use pink and brown. But what we're going for is not the look of makeup on your lips, but the look of just your natural lips are wider than they actually are. So I'm pressing the brush into the lip color. Then I'm going to use the sharp edge of it. I'm going to draw the lips wider than they actually are. So I'm going to draw the edge of the lips beyond my natural lip. This color looks pretty natural on me, but find one that looks natural on you. In fact, I might mix the lighter pink in there too. Unless you're doing makeup for a character who needs to look like they are wearing makeup, then you could choose another lip color. Otherwise, you want it to look like the color of your actual lips. It feels weird. If you've never done this before, your lips feel wider than they are. And then another trick for making your lips wider is to put highlight in the center of the lips. It's the same principle as how we made this look like a shape and this look like a shape. By putting highlight in the center, not the outside, it adds more dimension and a spherical quality to the lips. We're going to set with powder and then add rouge, aka blush. The translucent powder that comes with the kit comes with the powder puff. The Krylon one is like this. The Ben Nye one is a bigger velour powder puff. When you're setting cream color with powder, you're not dusting it on top, you're pressing it in. And the reason for this is you're setting the makeup in place. If you were to just go out under stage lights with cream makeup on your skin that hadn't been set with powder, under the heat of the lights and the warmth of your skin, the makeup would melt off. So the powder helps to set it in place. It's like locking it in place. Sometimes the powder also softens the look. I noticed it really softened this under eye bag, so I might go back with highlight and shadow and add definition to cover up what the makeup softened. The Krylon lip color is a long-lasting lip color. If you use the cream colors that come with Ben Nye, they're cream color the same as everything else, so you want to set them with powder as well. So you would powder over top of your lips. Yeah, I'm going to go back and add some dimension to that eye. Everything else I think looks smooth. Did I powder my neck? Powder everywhere you put makeup to keep it in place. Look how puffy my face looks! It might not look unnatural to you because you're not used to looking at my face, but when you do this to yourself, you might find it feels really unnatural because you're used to your face looking one way. The last thing I'll show you, two more things I'll show you. Rouge, blush. Both kits come with a powder blush that's like a pinkish color and a brush. To add to making your cheeks look round and circular, put a circle of blush in the middle of surrounding the apple of your cheek. Makes your whole face look rosier and wider. Then the last thing I will tell you is to add to the illusion of widening the face, if you have the opportunity, if you have on hand wide hair, a hairstyle that is wide also adds to the overall width of the face. If you don't have wide hair, that's fine. But it's something to think about as you're designing characters. So for this makeup look, don't worry about accentuating anything about the eyes or the eyebrows. Just focus on the techniques to add width to the face. Yeah, look how wide my jaw looks. Can't wait to wash this one off. Look how big my lips look.